Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. This is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome Tag. Welcome to the stream. Where's my stylus? Alright, back with more Ace Attorney investigations too. Hopefully we can finish case 3 today. Welcome Retro Repeater. Welcome to the stream. There we go. Yeah, we're very far into this case. So we've solved most of it, we just need to prove who the killer is. Easy! Easy! Hey Rose, welcome. The Inherited Turnabout, end part 3. Oh, hang on. Got both the badges still. Double badge. Alright. So last time we got Catherine Hall to admit what she did. Turned out she stole those sherbet statues all those years ago and kept them in the freezer in this mansion. And then she brought them back out here because she realised that the body of the victim was in those sculptures. It was hidden there. And so she wanted to figure out who actually killed him. She wasn't the killer. But she did steal these sculptures and accidentally hide the body. This game is great, yeah. This case is really good. I love this case. Overall, the game's really great so far. Alright, April 2nd, 3:11 PM, Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio. Miss Hall, have you composed yourself? Yes. What you did, no matter the reason, was unforgivable. Yes, I know. However, you committed this crime in order to prove Mr. Master's innocence. Oh yeah, she set up the poison gas trap as well, because she was trying to trap the real killer. Because she knew that they would come to try and retrieve the body. One stream later and Larry literally hasn't moved. I think he might be dead. If the true culprit is someone else, we have a duty to re-investigate. I hate you. You suck. No false evidence from the IS-7 incident remains in the official case files. Moreover, there is no evidence to lend credence to Miss Hall's testimony. We should first arrest Miss Hall as the culprit behind today's incident. We cannot be certain that all the case files are accurate. After all, the prosecutor in the case has a history of forging evidence. Are you suggesting that the PIC overlooked such a prosecutor? Yeah. Yeah. That's none of my concern. The truth is that evidence was falsified. And the fact that Dover's body from 18 years ago was just discovered proves it. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I can see remnants of Prosecutor Von Karma within you. What did you say? You try to deceive the PIC and fabricate the truth. Oh, I hate her. Oh, hey, the big follows bots are back. Which one's the ban button? Ban! Get out of here! I might need to turn on the... get out of here. Bots. If we get another one, I'll turn on followers only mode. The bot got the guilty verdict, yup. Gave them the hammer. Let me inform you of my, or rather, the PIC's logic. I have to face off with her first, okay. The PIC's logic. I want to hear your logic. Your logic sucks. I acknowledge that Prosecutor von Karma fabricated the information about the body. However, he successfully convicted Mr. Master as an accomplice. I believe that the true culprit was Miss Curator herself. She even attempted to murder Mr. Gustavia today in order to pin the blame on him. Is that really what the PIC believes? Yes, every word I utter is for the sake of law and order. Bum 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 bum. It seems she intends to hide the truth for the sake of the PIC. At this rate, neither Mr. Master nor Miss Hall will be saved. I acknowledge that Prosecutor von Karma fabricated the information about the body. If you acknowledge that, why won't you reopen the case? The Goddess of Law does not err in her judgments. While Prosecutor von Karma may have used underhanded tactics. If you ask me, it's all been bogus ever since von Karma fabricated evidence. And you claim that justice was served. What is the PIC thinking? I can already declare my verdict. There is no need for further investigation. Let's hear your explanation on the matter then. However, he successfully convicted Mr. Master as an accomplice. I heard that the biggest factor in Mr. Master's conviction was his confession. If Prosecutor von Karma had a hand in his confession, the ruling may not be just. The initial investigation was handled by Detective Riplacer. Riplacer, there's got to be a pun in there, right? Riplacer. He was the one who obtained the confession, according to the official reports. All I can say is that the ruling has already been handed down. Jeez, why does Miss Courtney have to be so stubborn? Is the PIC so high and mighty? They sure seem like the arch enemy of prosecutors, to say the least. So they're kinda like what the police are to great thieves. Says the great thief, who nonchalantly works alongside the police. I believe that the true culprit was Miss Curator herself. Are you saying that both Miss Hall and Mr. Master murdered Isaac Dover? Mr. Master committed the murder, while Miss Curator moved the body. That's what I believe. What? How can you say that? We would never kill Monsieur Dover. Did you not steal the body and preserve it for 18 years? It is only natural to suspect you of being an accomplice. She has already confessed to her crimes, and now is not the time to judge her of her past crimes. In that case, let's judge Miss Hall for her current crime. She even attempted to murder Mr. Gustavia today, in order to pin the blame on him. Yeah, she's still wearing the tablecloth. That's pretty funny. If she wanted to pin the crime on somebody, why choose Mr. Gustavia? Perhaps Mr. Gustavia suspected Miss Hall was the criminal, as he attempted to confirm whether or not the Gemini sculpture was genuine. He was caught in a trap meant to silence him forever. Can you prove that theory? Mr. Gustavia is currently teetering on the brink of death. There's probably no way to prove it, unless he regains consciousness. In other words, there is nothing we can do for now. That can't be true. There must still be something we can do. You still don't get it, do you? Allow me to give you a clearer explanation. We already have ample evidence for both the IS-7 incident and today's poison gas incident. By ample evidence, you mean... For the IS-7 incident, we have a body, the murder weapon, and a pair of suspects. For the poison gas incident, we have the 2 chemicals and Miss Hall's confession. Furthermore, I have finished collecting all the evidence necessary. For your own PIC hearing, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What? How can you say something like that so casually? Miles, you know you're always welcome to join the Edgeworth law officers. Judge Courtney, I'd like to ask that you refrain from making such needless remarks. I understand. Well, regardless. There is no need to investigate any further. Hey Lauren, how are you? Welcome. Are you saying that there is nothing left for us to investigate? We have already exhausted all ends in regards to the evidence. This court will accept no further deliberations. I shall now deliver my verdict for the defendant, Catherine Hall. I hereby pronounce you... Hold it! There is still a need for further investigation. If you wish to halt my verdict, please do so with evidence. That is, if there is any evidence that requires further deliberation. I cannot allow this case to end here. There is still something that needs to be cleared up. Looks like I'll have to show Judge Courtney something to convince her. Okay. I'm good, thanks. Alright. No need to investigate any further. What do we got? Have a look. I wonder if they can still do an autopsy report on the body. Gas burner, the cloth. Oh yeah, there's still this. I don't know what was going on with this. No? Okay. Judge Courtney, there is a contradiction in your testimony. I cannot authorize this statement. And why not? Because it's obvious you're bluffing. Is that the impression I give off? Next time for sure, I will present evidence that will silence her for good. That sounded ominous, didn't it? Courtney says evidence more than Francisca says fool. Oh, her name's Courtney. Oh, I didn't notice that. Courtney. Oh, jeez. Why did it take... Yeah, why did I not notice that? That's funny. Okay. What else we got? The sugar found in the fountain appears to have the same composition. I mean, that would make sense if the sculptures really did melt this time. Need to find out how she made these delicious chocolates. So we can make some too. Yeah, this one's definitely a loose end, but this isn't the one I need to present apparently. Good music in this game. Maybe it's my badge. Not really sure. I mean, what would have been the motive? We'd have no motive, but you can never bring that up because there's no way to do that. Never really found out what happened to Gustavia's son. Malt, sugar, and blood. I'm not really sure what we need to present. No, not that one. Hey Lewis, how are you? Oh, no worries. Don't worry about arriving late. I'm just happy to have people watch. I think we've seen this dialogue. Yep. It's pretty safe before I lose more health. I'll just press that again and see if there's any tips. Still something that needs to be cleared up. This doesn't make any sense. Attempted to murder Mr. Gustavia in order to pin the blame on him? How would... She doesn't need to because of the statute of limitations, right? No? Okay. I'm wondering if they can do an autopsy. Nope, that's not it. Alright. Hey, chat. Anyone got any ideas in chat? Hey, UED, how are ya? Yeah, I'm kind of just going to be randomly presenting stuff at this point, so if anyone's got any ideas, feel free to post them. Just going to reload my save, get my health back. I've officially called upon chat. Having a good dinner after work. Oh, nice. That sounds good. You're preoccupied with grumpy babies. Oh, our condolences. We haven't even seen the summer or spring palace, but I guess we don't really need to. If they're not involved in this whole incident. Would have ideas, but haven't been able to pay much attention. Oh, it's alright. Don't worry. I'll stumble into the right answer. How would he know if that was the body, if he wasn't the one who put the body there? No? Okay. I feel like most of my thoughts make sense, but they're not the ones that the game wants. Yeah, why would he go for the body if he didn't know it was the body, it was disguised? Ah, well. Did we ever figure out where the oh no, that's right, it's from the megatoxin, yeah. I could present the teapot to show that there was no need for her to kill him because she liked his work. No? Okay. A classic, what logic is the game searching for? Yeah. it's an Ace Attorney moment. The cloth. Maybe something to do with the cloth. I don't see anything strange about the cloth. I think we've figured out everything to do with that. forgot who's got the recipe book at the moment. Hall's got it at the moment, doesn't she? Do-do-do. What about the sketch? Maybe there's something in the sketch we haven't figured out. I think we figured out everything from the sketch. These games in the camp of convoluted as heck, but still fun. Yeah. Only thing that sticks out is a lack of motive. Yeah, same here. Like, why would they work together to kill someone if there was no motive? But, not sure how I would present that. Salt, sugar, and blood. We had to just start presenting everything one by one. Oh. It's that one apparently. Alright, let's get my health back and let's see what happens. It's the liquid analysis. Yeah, I'm not sure why. We will find out. Oops. Progress. There is still one piece of evidence from the IS-7 incident that remains unsettled. Take a look at this. This is the forensic results from the Gemini sculpture that melted in the Winter Palace. According to the results of the analysis, traces of someone's blood were found. We haven't confirmed that it was the victim, I suppose. Who does this blood belong to? Until we know the answer, this case is still open. Alright, that makes sense. There's so many different threads I could go for there, and it was this particular one. There was blood mixed in with the remains of the Gemini sculpture? I heard nothing of this from Sebastian. This was a report from Detective Gumshoe. I had planned to tell Mr. DeBest myself. So even though you had no investigative authority, you still did as you please. I shall report everything that transpired today to the PIC. I will not avert my eyes from the truth, nor shall I overlook the mistakes of the past. If you wish to report my actions to the PIC, be my guest. But in exchange, I want you to let me investigate this case to the very end. It is not my place to decide such things. I must ask that you check with Sebastian regarding this matter. Hey, good news, you guys! Bum bum bum. Thanks to our early detection, Mr. Gustavia's life was saved. Mr. Gustavia. So, he's alive. Would you be the ones who saved my life? Larry moved. He's not a statue. Hey, Mr. Gustavia. You are Sir Assistant, are you not? You have grown so big. This time, This one is your assistant then. No, I'm... He's an assistant candidate, and Gregory Edgeworth's son. I am Miles Edgeworth, a prosecutor. No, what a twist of fate. I am in your debt. It is thanks to you that I have completely recovered. There's no need for thanks. Since you're alive, we can reach the truth behind the incident 18 years ago. What do you speak of? While you were unconscious, the truth has started to come to light. You may be Isaac Dover's murderer. What? Really? Miss Hall was looking for the criminal behind the events of 18 years ago. That's why she set up the poison gas in the Pisces case. Mr. Gustavia, the events of the incident 18 years ago. Tell us what really happened. So you wish to remain silent? Nah, I think he's just meditating. He can sleep standing up? What a useful skill to have. Meditation is different from sleeping, though. Mr. Gustavia, please tell us what you did 18 years ago. I'm the criminal because I fell for the trap. That's not a very funny joke. I'm a victim, not a culprit. Mr. Gustavia, it has not yet been made clear whether or not you are the criminal. This is only their baseless speculation. Do not concern yourself with the drivel of a prosecutor without jurisdiction. Cat. Hello, sweetie. She's being very noisy. When is her dinner time? Still half an hour away. Can you wait, sweetie? Or are you going to starve to death? This cat is so greedy. No. At least there is one person here who understands. My name is Justine Courtney. I am a judge. If you would like, I would be happy to assist you. Let us show Prosecutor Edgeworth the truth of 18 years ago. No. Understood. I shall prove my innocence to you, Sir Prosecutor. Judge Courtney, is that your answer? Do you intend to bury the truth of the IS-7 incident before it can be brought to light? I merely believe in the judgments of the Goddess of Law. Ultimately, those who render judgment are only human. As long as humans control the law, there is no guarantee that every verdict is correct. If you are going to help conceal the truth, I will not hold back. I'm looking forward to it. Lady Justine, what should I do now? You are being suspected because you set off the poison gas. Can you tell us the reason? Why you opened the Pisces case? Understood. I came to see Sir Dover's works from 18 years ago. However, I accidentally entered the museum a half hour before it opened. Sure. That'll hold up in court. Oh wait, it will, because Justine's here. Still the most suspicious person here. Yeah, she seems corrupt as heck. Miss Hall, there was nobody at the entrance, correct? Since I thought the criminal from 18 years ago might be coming, I had no security guards in place. I didn't even lock the doors. I was very busy with opening preparations, so there was nobody on the first floor. In addition, I locked every palace door aside from the autumn one. I see. This must have been done in order to lure the criminal to the Autumn Palace. Which is why he ended up entering the Autumn Palace. It's already suspicious that he snuck into the museum in the first place. The gallery should remain silent. Unless you have evidence that can prove his testimony false, I will not allow any objections. Gallery? This isn't even a courtroom. Now then. why did you open the Pisces case? I wished to view Sir Dover's handiwork up close. The Gemini sculpture. No, it was actually the Pisces, wasn't it? The lid had been frozen shut, so I borrowed a burner to open it. But as soon as I opened the lid, poison gas began pouring out. That's quite a convenient testimony. It sounds like a total lie, doesn't it? There are parts of Mr. Gustavia's testimony that I have issues with as well. However, there is no evidence to disprove it. But that's... Would it not make sense for suspicion to fall on Lady Catherine before myself? She may have intended to release the poison gas haphazardly. Objection. Kate turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She was specifically targeting the person who triggered the trap. Mr. Gustavia, you were her only target. You are willing to accept the words of this criminal as the truth? Miss Hall must atone for her crimes. However, the same can be said for the criminal from 18 years ago. Sir Prosecutor, it seems you wish to suspect me to the bitter end. However, I had no reason to murder Sir Dover. If there is no evidence to suggest that I killed him, you cannot suspect me. Ugh. Mr. Edgeworth, can't you prove that Mr. Gustavia is the criminal? All we know for sure is that Mr. Gustavia fell victim to the poison gas. No matter how strange his behaviour was, it won't prove he committed the murder. But that's... Mr. Shields, is there nothing we can do? Well, if there isn't any evidence, we should try reorganising the facts. If Mr. Gustavia was the one who killed Mr. Dover, there must have been a motive. Motive? Mr. Gustavia himself is denying that such a motive exists. So it's funny how we have to prove the motive, but they never have to. It's not easy to take another person's life. 18 years ago, your old man also discussed motive with Prosecutor von Karma. You claim the collaboration is irrelevant? If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, it could serve as a motive for murder. We couldn't talk with Mr. Gustavia 18 years ago, but this time things are different. If we connect everything we've learned so far, the truth might be revealed. Yes, I suppose so. It seems I must re-examine the information from 18 years ago. I must recall all the details that have remained unexplained. So, the gloved finger marks on the picture frame was your doing? Delisha denied leaving the finger marks on the frame. If they were left by Mr. Gustavia, he may have been trying to view the angel's recipe. This music's really good. Monsieur Master asked me to change the film in the camera. It seemed the film he prepared in advance wasn't enough. There wasn't enough film. It seems the number of photos he took didn't match up with the amount of film remaining. Well, he told me himself it might have just been a mistake, though. Did he take photos of the angel's recipe? The information my father collected 18 years ago was certainly not for naught. If there is no evidence, then I shall use logic to reveal the truth. You're more leery of her than the potential murderer in this case. Yeah, same. Alright. Motive for murder, partnership turned sour. I guess I'll put those together. Mr. Gustavia, you collaborated with the victim, Isaac Dover, to create your desserts, didn't you? Oh? It seems you know about my secret. Mr. Shields told me about it. Mr. Dover handled the design, while you were in charge of the taste. Is that correct? Back then my training had been insufficient. It seems you worked together through the semi-finals, but not during the finals. Why is that? We both wished to compete in the finals against Sir Master, on our own merits. You must have also helped with Isaac Dover's dessert, even during the finals. What makes you able to declare something like that? Didn't you tell Prosecutor Von Karma about it yourself, 18 years ago? That you cooperated until the day before the finals? The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made out of sherbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze. Which means Mr. Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sherbet in advance the day before. That's right. So you realize Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals. Then why did Mr. Dover not help Mr. Gustavia in return? The views of the dead are of no concern to me. Why did Isaac Dover not help you in return? If there is a reason why your partnership with Isaac Dover broke down, that would be a motive for murder. That could be a possibility. However, Sir Dover and I ended our partnership peacefully. A peaceful breakup? That's hard to imagine. Not to mention, it's absurd to think that I killed Sir Dover in Sir Master's room. I couldn't have killed Sir Dover while Sir Master was also there, making his desserts. In other words, there is no way I could have committed the murder. That's not true. If there was a moment when Mr. Master was absent from the room, I could prove that it was possible for Mr. Gustavia to commit the murder. Logic. Surprised we never had Von Karma come back from the dead, like the lady from 3. Yeah. Guess lack of psychic powers, yeah. Yeah, the girl from 3 was, she was actually a cousin of Maya, so she had spirit channeling powers. Okay. Yeah, so I think he was trying to take photos of the recipe. And he got caught. I don't know why their partnership broke up though. If he had photographed the contents of the angel's recipe, he wouldn't need to steal it. Perhaps Mr. Gustavia used Mr. Master's camera to take the pictures. If he had stolen the actual recipe book, the police would have found out. I see. Pictures, eh? The problem is the time at which he entered Mr. Master's room. Mr. Gustavia could have moved around freely during the afternoon tea, right? Because it seems both him and Mr. Dover did not participate in the afternoon tea. Bum, bum, bum. If I remember correctly, the only time we can prove that Dover was still alive is... The victim was not seen, as he stayed locked up in his room after the contest had begun. The only one who could have unlocked the locked rooms was Jeff Master. Was Master's desserts all that you ate? Actually, no. After the afternoon tea, I also ate Icy's desserts. After the contest began, Isaac Dover was locked up in his room. If we assume he was killed at some point before Delicia snuck into his room, then there is a high chance that he was killed before the afternoon tea was over. It's always funny when you've only got 2 left. No worries, have a good night, Bruce. Thanks for dropping by. Isaac Dover was alive up until the afternoon tea began. Ergo, that is the only time when Gustavia could have killed Dover. Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you satisfied? Heh. Sorry, but I am far from satisfied. Because I am finally starting to see the truth behind this case. Are you saying you have found some evidence to show us that truth? No, there is no need to present any evidence, since we can just have Mr. Gustavia tell us the truth. Ah, so this is where you use that, right? Indeed. Mr. Gustavia, there is one thing I want you to tell me. I said, Mr. Gustavia, there is one thing I want you to tell me. What is it? During the finals of the contest, you made your desserts on your own. I wanted to compete for the title of the world's greatest pastry chef on my own merits. If that was truly the case, you would have competed on your own merits from the start. I want you to tell me why it was necessary for you to cooperate with Isaac Dover. Yes! During the contest 18 years ago, Mr. Gustavia collaborated with Mr. Dover. I wonder, what made them decide to cooperate in the first place? That's what I need to draw out from him, but... 4. It seems he pretends to meditate when things aren't going his way. First, I'll ask about why he collaborated with Mr. Dover. The truth has been hidden for 18 years. That ends today. Alright, gonna drink some water. What happened to this cat? Where'd she go? She'll be back. It's her dinner time pretty soon, so... Logic chess. Begin. Why did you decide to collaborate with Isaac Dover? So Dover and I were already acquaintances, even before the contest began. Since he was interested in the contest, we simply decided to enter it together. Joining forces with a sculptor, you weren't confident in your own abilities? No, you know nothing about me. We wanted to make great works together. Wait and see. Sir Dover's son and my own attended the same elementary school. We all got along well from the start. Really? So were you going to share the title of world's greatest pastry chef together? No. He's pretending to meditate. As expected, he pretends to meditate when things aren't going his way. Mr. Dover was a sculptor. I doubt he had any interest in the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. In that case, where did his true goal lie? Indeed, my goal was the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. However, Sir Dover's goal was the grand prize, the angel's recipe. I see. You cooperated because your interests were aligned. But there must have been a reason why your partnership soured. Sir Prosecutor, I am the victim of a poisoning. Oh, where. If you're going to suspect me in this manner, perhaps I'd better return to the infirmary. Wait a moment. In that case, you should end things soon. I am not a patient man. It seems he's trying to leave. I can't let that happen. He's still hiding something. Next, I should ask him about his true goal. I need to keep the pressure on him, while being cautious of the time. Did you want to appear on Piece of Cake? That's an interesting question. Did you want to appear on Mr. Master's TV show? I believe it was called Shake and Bake, was it not? I'm pretty sure it's called Piece of Cake. Would you really want to see me dance about while I make desserts? No, that probably wouldn't be too popular with the kids either. Exactly. I know my limitations. I have no interest in that kind of theatrical tomfoolery. Sir Prosecutor, you should think about who you're talking to before asking questions. Gah! I understand. I should refrain from making unnecessary statements. I must read my opponent's reactions and emotions and strike with the right words. Yeah. Didn't you have another goal besides the title? The title alone doesn't seem to have much value. How dare the likes of you insult the title of a confectionery artist? My only goal was the title itself. I had no interest in anything else. My dream was to become the world's greatest pastry chef. Wait and see. 18 years ago, I was lacking in design sense. However, things are different now. Oh? Are you saying you have improved at your craft? Exactly, for I have trained at the Republic of Zengfar. Everyone goes to Zengfar, don't they? Yes, yes. At the time, I also studied Mr. Master's works. I would often watch his show with my son. So, you were studying Mr. Master's work to improve your own skills. If you had his recipes, perhaps it would have been easier for you to become the world's greatest. Perhaps. To a pastry chef, so Master's recipes were worth their weight in gold. Now we attack. If becoming the world's greatest pastry chef was your goal, you should have also been interested in the grand prize, the angel's recipe. The recipes of the world's greatest pastry chef. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't interested. However, I wouldn't think that simply being interested would be a problem. I wonder about that. The angel's recipe's true nature was not for making desserts, but cures. And all of the contest participants should have been aware of that. Shake and Bake is a brand of breading. Ah, okay. That's cool. Oh, hello, cat. You're back again, huh? How you doing, sweetie? Mwah. Meow? No, the alarm hasn't gone off yet, so... Oh, this poor baby. She's starving to death. She's gonna collapse if she doesn't get food soon. Cute cat. Oh. Yeah, she's begging a lot today. Yeah. Looks like I'm getting close. He isn't meditating anymore. Now to slowly but surely drive him into a corner. Next, I'll ask what he planned to use the recipe book for. Yeah, going to save. Looks like we're halfway through the logic chess. Did you intend to make desserts with it? Did you intend to win the angel's recipe and use it to make desserts? Of course! If I obtained the angel's recipe, I was going to use it in my training. I hear the angel's recipe was worth a lot of money. I don't know the exact details, but... that recipe book was much too valuable to be sold. You seem to know quite a lot about the angel's recipe. It was explained to all the contest participants at the beginning of the contest. In that case, you must know about the recipe book's true nature. that it was not a recipe book for desserts at all. Impressive, Sir Prosecutor. So you know the true nature of the Angel's recipe. The Angel's recipe. Some have called it the ultimate recipe book. It contained formulas for new medicines that were not yet on the market. He knew the recipes were actually formulas for new medicines. This could be a useful clue. Okay. Now we do the other one. The Angel's recipe. Did you know its true value? Silly question. It contains Sir Master's best dessert recipes. Any pastry chef worth their salt would want it. Looks like that clue will come in handy. You may have studied design in Zengfar. However, your skills in lying could use more work. You just said earlier that the Angel's recipe contained formulas for medicines. You weren't interested in desserts. You wanted the medicine formulas. You wanted to become a pharmacist. Which one? Do you need a new medicine, I think is the one. You don't get funny dialogue for messing this part up though, so not going to test them. Need a new medicine. Now, why would a pastry chef such as yourself be so interested in medicine? Perhaps what you were really after was the information about the new medicine. I've underestimated you, Sir Prosecutor. Yes. My goal was more than just the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. At the time, my son was ill. I needed the recipe for the medicine. Your son was ill? Tell me more about that. To protect my son's honor, I can say no more. Judging by the worried look on his face, I must have struck a nerve. Next, I need him to tell me more about his son's illness. This is it. This will be my final move of the game. Oh, but there's 2 cases left, Edgeworth. So funny. Got 3 questions this time. What was the name of the illness? What was your son like? Did the recipe book have the only cure? What was the name of the illness? What was the name of your son's illness? Sir Prosecutor, how insensitive of you. My son was seriously ill. I will not be discussing this with the likes of you. It seems I don't have enough clues to proceed with this line of questioning. Maybe I should try another line of attack. The recipe book have the only cure. Did the Angel's recipe have the only cure? Yes, though the medicine is being sold everywhere now. At the time, the recipe book was my one and only option. That's why I continued making my desserts, without joining the others for tea time. So you weren't interested in what Mr. Master was making? You sure seemed confident in your chances of winning. I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to the other contestants' desserts. He's nervous. You just said earlier that you studied Mr. Master's works. In addition, if your goal was to win the contest in order to get the medicine formula, you must have been curious about the other contestants' entries as well. There was time to sample the other desserts during the contest, but none of their entries had any flavour, so I didn't want to eat any of it. I suspect I may have been a bit nervous as well. So everything he ate tasted flavourless. He has the same thing that Mr. Master has. This could be a useful clue. What kind of person was your son? Ah, my boy. He loved the desserts I made. Did you enter the contest solely for your son? Is his son still alive? Hope so. Sir Prosecutor, you could never understand the feelings a father has for his son. I wanted nothing more than to cure my boy's illness. Wait and see. Until the semi-finals, my son would always drop by the contest venue to play. Is that so? Wouldn't he get in your way? I doubt you had time to care for your son while you were challenging Mr. Master. That may be so, but I wanted to grant my son's wishes. He said he always wanted to be the first to eat my desserts. About your son. If he was so sick, wouldn't it be difficult for him to come and play with you? My son's illness. It wasn't life-threatening. That might serve as a clue. What was the name of your son's illness? Sir Prosecutor, how insensitive of you. My son was seriously ill. No, he wasn't. You told me your son's illness was not life-threatening. Is there really a need to be so secretive about it? It was enough to keep him from living a normal life. That must have been difficult for your son. I tried everything I could to cure his illness. It wasn't fair for the poor boy. He could never taste the desserts he loved so much. Taste disorder, yeah, they both have. The angel's recipe contains a cure for a certain illness. A remedy that could also cure Mr. Master's taste disorder. What? He had it too? He had it too? I see. So your son suffers from a taste disorder? No, I didn't think you'd figure it out so quickly. In order to cure your son's taste disorder, you needed the recipe book. Wasn't that your true goal? It is as you say. Based on how he's acted up until now, it appears he is still hiding something. Looks like that clue will come in handy. I'm glad I did the other ones first. Being unable to taste anything, regardless of what you eat. Such a bitter illness. That reminds me, didn't you say something similar earlier? None of their entries had any flavour, so I didn't feel like eating any of it, wasn't it? Perhaps your son wasn't the only one who suffered from a taste disorder. It's hard to imagine being a successful pastry chef without a sense of taste. Perhaps what you really wanted was to cure yourself. That's completely ludicrous. 18 years ago, I made those desserts all by myself. Save. Save my game. The cat left again. She's probably just around the corner though. Waiting for the alarm to go off. Didn't you collaborate? It seems you've caught yourself in a contradiction. Didn't you cooperate with Isaac Dover in the contest? You can hardly say you made the desserts all by yourself. You must take great pride in your abilities as a pastry chef, but to betray your pride and cooperate with another contestant. You did it all to cure your own disease. Well done, Sir Prosecutor. It's as you say. The one with the taste disorder is not my son. It is I. No one knew. I've kept it a secret for 18 years. It doesn't matter how long a secret is kept. If you lie before me, I will expose it. Dame Gustavia and Isaac Dover were both trying to obtain the recipes for the new medicines. Gustavia to cure his condition, and Dover most likely to sell the recipe book for money. For this reason, they entered the contest as a collaborative effort. And with that, checkmate. Is that why his son would taste the desserts first? Oh, that makes sense. That would make sense. Urgh. I have never told this to anyone. Well done. As you say, I developed a taste disorder 18 years ago. Taste disorder? It was a severe disorder. I was unable to discern any flavour at all. It's the one illness a pastry chef dreads above all. Those symptoms sound a bit different from Mr. Master's taste disorder. Mr. Master's condition is known as hypoglycemia. It simply causes a decreased sensitivity to certain specific flavours. I'm sure it has caused Sir Master much pain too. After all, no medication was available to cure it 18 years ago. In order to cure your taste disorder, you would need Mr. Master's angel recipe. And that's why you entered the contest, am I correct? That was one of my goals, but I still had my sights set on the title of World's Greatest. Oh right. Good timing, because the cat alarm just went off. Hello, sweetie. Do you want food now? Are you sure you want food? I don't know, you don't seem hungry to me. Are you sure you're hungry? Aww. You're so cute. Cute little girl. He could have just asked Masters for that specific cure. Logic. Some don't use logic. Alright. So maybe they'll address that in a second. Okay. I should save this and then I'll go feed the cat. I'll be back in about 10 minutes, let's say. Give you all some music to listen to. Alright, I shall be back. I'm gonna feed this cat. Alright, I'm back. Hi everyone. Sorry, I took a little while because I was drinking some honey because my throat's gotten a bit sore. Honey helps a lot. It's really good. And it's delicious too, so that helps. Alright. So back to it. That one, here we go. Thank you, Tag. Inherited Turnabout. End part 3. Yeah, so I was thinking that there's something that's been bothering me. That this cures the taste disorder, hypoglycemia. But Mr. Masters has hypoglycemia, right? So if he had this recipe book all along, why didn't he cure his own taste disorder? Yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm not sure why. Just gotta wipe down my glasses quickly. Yeah, that's better. When it comes to making desserts, I won't lose it to anyone. Even without the ability to taste, I still have the utmost confidence in my flavours. Oh, so I presume you also prepare your dessert in the finals with the intent to win? No, that goes without saying. According to what Mr. Shields told us earlier, the evaluation of Mr. Gustavia's entry was... Up until the semi-finals, Mr. Gustavia's flavours and design were to my liking. Unfortunately, both the taste and appearance of his finals entry left much to be desired. After his judging, yeah, he went to steal it. Okay. Oh, okay. He'd only just figured that out during the contest. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It seems the dessert you made for the finals was not rated highly in regards to flavour. Mr. Gustavia, you will tell us about how you made your dessert during the finals. Very well. It seems I must teach you upstarts a lesson. Dessert for the finals. Sir Dover and I cooperated until the finals. I handled the flavour. He was in charge of the design. However, for the finals, I wanted to challenge Sir Master with my own skills. I helped Sir Dover make his entry, but I made mine completely on my own. If the flavour of my entry wasn't good enough, my own lack of training was to blame. How about that, Sir Prosecutor? This is the truth of 18 years ago. Nah, I don't think it is. Blech. I can't find any contradictions in his testimony. Well, of course he isn't going to fess up that easily. This guy's been on the run for 18 years after all. Guess we'll just have to keep on pressing him until he breaks, eh? Yes. Sir Dover and I cooperated until the finals. I handled the flavour. He was in charge of the design. So Mr. Dover took care of the design while you handled the flavour. Sir Dover was a sculptor by trade. His sense of design was splendid. But he was just an amateur chef. We combined our strengths by working together. You never did have much design sense, did you, Mr. Gustavia? Yeah. That's pretty cool. What do you think of this? That's the symbol of Zengfar. Wow, a phoenix. That is really good. Whoa, you really have improved these past 18 years. Behold the fruits of my 18 years of training. I put my life and limb on the line for my dessert skills. It's true that I cooperated with Sir Dover 18 years ago, up until the finals. However, for the finals, I wanted to challenge Sir Master with my own skills. So, you were really serious about the title of World's Greatest Pastry Chef? Yes. Confectionery is my life. Naturally, I wanted to be the world's greatest. But back then, I was still inexperienced, and I was no match for the better chef. But your goal was also to obtain the angel's recipe, right? Wouldn't the recipe book be worth more to you than the title? I will not stand by and watch you badger a convalescent man like this. What's convalescent? I haven't heard that word before. My gavel shall protect you, Mr. Gustavia. Man, why is she protecting him? She's no good. We need to vote her out. Vote her off the ship. She's an imposter. Gah. I realize he's still recuperating, but... Mr. Gustavia, do not yield to this devilish prosecutor. Now then, please continue with your testimony. I helped Sir Dover make his entry, but I made mine completely on my own. So you helped Mr. Dover with his dessert, but made yours all by yourself? No matter how you look at it, this seems odd. Why didn't Mr. Dover assist you? It matters not how it seems. It's the truth. I do not know what Sir Dover was thinking. It's hard to prove if someone is lying about something that happened 18 years ago. Hey Kay, does your secret weapon also work as a lie detector? If it did, I'd have already stolen Mr. Edgeworth's spotlight. There's no need for that. I will expose this man's lies myself. Dane Gustavia, please continue with your testimony. If the flavour of my entry wasn't good enough, my own lack of training was to blame. Up until the finals, I heard that you received high praise for the flavour of your desserts. Was there some sort of accident during the finals? Nothing of the sort. I simply was unable to taste my work due to my taste disorder. My intuition must have been off, that's all. Then, was your intuition fine while making Mr. Dover's entry? How could there be such a huge difference between the finals and the previous day? And she'll butt in? No? Okay. We're not getting anywhere at this rate. Should I change the topic? Oh. That's a lot of choices. Let's save our game. Oh yeah, my closed captions are broken today. The website that does them seems to be down, so I'll see if that comes back up. I do need to look into other closed captions options anyway. I don't know if I will find any that's particularly accurate, so I'll see what I can find though. Alright, well I think don't change the topic, it's not going to get anywhere, so let's do that first. I don't think there's any reason to change the topic. All those unanswered questions 18 years ago. I should already have the keys I need to unravel them. I must recall all the information that Mr. Shields and my father gathered. Okay, what was the... Okay, so it was the last one. I keep having ideas about what happened and then I keep like changing my idea and... Yeah, ask about Mr. Dover. You knew Mr. Dover before you entered the contest, right? Yes, I knew him well. Sir Dover's son and my own attended the same elementary school. Oh, okay. What if I ask about the other thing? So, you're sure there wasn't anything different between the semi-finals and the finals? Yes, that's right. Aside from not cooperating with Sir Dover, the finals weren't much different from the semi-finals. Ah, okay, that changes this bit of dialogue. So you were still able to make your desserts without Mr. Dover's assistance? I may have lacked design sense, but I was confident in the flavour. Apart from the design, there were no major differences between my finals and semi-finals entries. Huh? That sure is strange. That's not how Uncle Ray remembers it. I'm pretty sure both the look and taste of your finals dessert scored poorly. Then there's no way he would have won the contest. Even the flavour, which he was so confident about, failed to materialise during the finals. Something must have changed besides Mr. Dover's cooperation. But what? Yeah, his son was there tasting it for him. I think he needed his son to help him. I want to see what that other bit of dialogue leads me to, but I think this is the right one that we're on at the moment. Sir Dover's son and my own attended the same elementary school. Then it wasn't a coincidence that you both participated in the contest. I heard about the contest, so I made the suggestion to Sir Dover. He always wanted money for his sculpting business. If I recall, Mr. Dover was a greedy man who was always after more money. Ooh, so the angel's recipe is really worth that much? Okay, the recipe book was certainly valuable 18 years ago, but nowadays most of the medicines it contains are available commercially. Aww, that's a shame. In the end, it seems that each of the contestants had the angel's recipe as their goal. Alright, we'll change it back to the other one. Semi-finals. It was different, you say? Yeah, is this the one that says Gustavia's son always came to visit up until the finals? Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. Yeah. There was another difference between the semi-finals and finals. This photo depicts your son. We know he came to visit you up until the finals. That is correct. What does that have to do with anything? Your son, who always came to see you through the semi-finals, was not present for the finals. And then it was only in the finals that your flavour judged poorly. I don't believe this to be a mere coincidence. Your son's visits must have been very important to you, were they not? A father can work miracles when his son is watching. Yeah, okay. With my son cheering me on, I was able to make the most delicious desserts. Mr. Gustavia sure sounds like a good father, doesn't he? If what he's saying is the whole truth, one could say so. But just hearing his son's cheers wouldn't be enough to change the taste of his desserts. A confectioner, confident in his sense of taste, develops a taste disorder. It would have been difficult for him to maintain the taste of his desserts. Your son came to cheer you on. Was that really all he did? You seem very doubtful, Sir Prosecutor. In that case, I'll turn this around and ask you. What else could my elementary school son have done, besides cheer me on? He stole desserts from others. It's good. No sign of the cat now. She's been fed, so... it's vanished from my sight. Your son stole desserts from the other contestants. You think my son would stoop as low as Lady Delicia? I see no merit in such despicable tactics. That's true. I'll ask you once more. Made your desserts for ya. Did your son make your desserts for you? My son is no pastry chef. Of course not. He hasn't even been taught home economics. I guess it'd be impossible. Taste it. I'm sure your elementary school son would have remembered the taste of your desserts. Of course. My son always loved my desserts. In that case, he would have been able to taste test your desserts in your place. What did you say? Earlier, you told us that you have a taste disorder. I've never told this to anyone. Well done. As you say, I developed a taste disorder 18 years ago. We really need a flashback for that? It just happened. Hey, King Brolly, welcome. How are ya? No one else knew about your taste disorder. If Mr. Dover had found out, he would have ended your partnership. After all, you were in charge of the flavour. That's a lot of dots. Your son didn't just cheer you on. He also helped you determine if your desserts tasted correct. Oh. Ah, I see. Mr. Dover's dessert was made the day before, so it still tasted good. What you are saying is quite amusing, Sir Prosecutor. You said that my elementary school son assisted me as a taste tester? You are insulting my pride. Your pride? It's true, I had no sense of design 18 years ago. However, I won't lose to anyone when it comes to flavour. You claim I would cast aside my pride and rely on my son? Don't get carried away with your foolish conjecture, you upstart. In that case, I'm sure your son can confirm if my theory is mere conjecture. Unfortunately for you, I no longer have a son. Awkward. You thought he was dead? He got poisoned and he's been clinging to life in the infirmary, and now he's finally woken up. So he nearly died, but they gave him the antidote. What? After my taste disorder was cured, I went to train in Zengfa immediately. During that time, I severed all ties with my son. What? Don't tell me. You would even abandon your own son? That's not all. Even today, the whereabouts of his son are still unknown. The police have been searching, but they haven't been able to find any traces of him. Wow, what? You wish to confirm your theory? I welcome you to try. Desserts are the only things that are important to me. After regaining my sense of taste, my son no longer mattered. Wow. Order in the court. Mr. Gustavia's actions are certainly inhumane. However, we are not here to judge whether or not he is a good father. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I believe this is your loss. After all, there is no evidence left from 18 years ago that could prove your theories. Mr. Edgeworth, is there nothing we can do? At this rate, we'll never find out the truth. Detective Gumshoe, where are those results? I forgot, what was he doing? Ah, the blood test, okay. I wonder whose blood it could have been. I've asked forensics to look into it, sir. Right, I leave it to you, Detective. I entrusted Detective Gumshoe with the last piece of evidence. If only I knew who that blood belonged to. Miles, there's still one thing that's bothering Uncle Ray. Was Mr. Gustavia's only reason for coming to the art gallery to check on the body? If he only wanted to confirm the body's presence, he wouldn't have needed to open the case. That's right. Is there a way we can prove this? There is one way. We just need that evidence from Detective Gumshoe. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what are you talking about? Mr. Edgeworth! Sorry to keep you waiting, sir! Just the person I was talking about. Detective Gumshoe, I trust you have the test results? Of course, sir. I just got the report back from the lab. Larry's still here, apparently. Detective, please be silent. So, this is the evidence that Prosecutor Edgeworth was talking about. Huh? Hey, what's this? This is the first I've heard of it. This was a request from me. I asked him to investigate a certain piece of evidence. Why? Why is everyone always helping you out? I'm the one in charge of the crime scene. Mr. DeBest, I apologise for taking matters into my own hands. But how about we hear his report first? Sure. Detective Gumshoe, what were the results? Here's the report, sir. The traces of blood found in the Gemini sculpture belong to... the victim of the poison gas, Dame Gustavia. What are you saying? Good work, Detective Gumshoe. Interesting. Interesting. As I thought, my theory was correct. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? We too would like an explanation. What on earth does this blood prove? This blood is something the culprit of the IS-7 incident tried to conceal. It can't be. That's... This blood was found inside the glass case of the Gemini sculpture. In other words, your blood was found alongside Mr. Dover's body. Why would Mr. Gustavia's body be in a place like that? If you intend to remain silent, then I'll reveal the truth myself. In the Gemini case, aside from the blood, we also found traces of salt and sugar. Salt and blood. And only one of Mr. Dover's sherbet desserts tasted salty. Come to think of it, I remember Miss Delicious saying the same thing 18 years ago. Oh yes, see, his sherbet was most delicious. Really? I wish I could have eaten some too. But there was one piece that was so salty I couldn't eat it. Salty? It's right here in this photo. It was a part of that lyre. That's the lyre from the Gemini constellation. Exactly. For some reason, salt had been mixed into the lyre. No other traces of salt were found in Dover's room. In that case, please explain. Where did the salt detected in the lyre come from? Probably my badge. This was the true nature of the salt. Presenting me with such absurd logic, you fill my eyes with salty tears. I can almost feel the cold, salty tears flowing down my cheeks as well. Those are good lines. Good lines. Salty badge. Yes. This time, give us an explanation we can understand. Alright, where did the salt come from? The lamp. The rock salt lamp. This is the rock salt lamp used as the murder weapon in the IS-7 incident? I believe part of this rock salt lamp was mixed in with the sherbet from the lyre. At the time of the murder, there were 2 rock salt lamps in Mr. Master's room. One of those lamps took Mr. Dover's life. We know that Mr. Dover's blood was left behind on the murderous lamp. However, there were no traces of anyone's blood found at the crime scene, Mr. Master's room. Because the killer disposed all of the desserts with traces of blood into the stream of water, right? Disposed all of... There's a word missing there. No other traces of salt were found in Mr. Dover's room. Oh. Speaking of which, weren't the 2 rock salt lamps found in Miss Delicious's room also broken? It looks like both the lamps and the pillars are broken. Both of their light bulbs are broken. Maybe they were dropped on the floor. We never did figure out why the other rock salt lamp was broken. Maybe Mr. Gustavia's blood was on the other lamp. Oh. If your blood was found on the lamps at the crime scene, you would have been suspected. As the culprit, you would have needed to conceal all traces of your blood from the police. Don't tell me he concealed it in the sherbet lyre? Ew. Ew. Exactly. The rock salt lamp and his blood were mixed into the sherbet lyre and hidden inside the glass case. Unlike the fountain's water, the sherbet desserts would not be analysed right away. Perhaps he had planned to dispose of the sherbet when the opportunity presented itself. Then, the reason Mr. Gustavia came to this gallery? 18 years ago, the body and the evidence pointing to the killer were both stolen. Even the killer could not have anticipated that. There was no way of knowing when the body and the evidence would be discovered. So, he planned to destroy the evidence before the Zodiac Art Gallery's grand opening. Then Gustavia, isn't it about time you confessed? I'm still having a little bit of trouble keeping up. Wait, I didn't realise the salt lamp had disappeared. You are the true culprit of the IS-7 incident. Monsieur Gustavia, you're the reason Monsieur Master is... Well, hasn't given up yet. Mr. Gustavia. Could it be? After all this time, my crime is finally brought to light? The prosecutors and defense attorneys 18 years ago never even came close. Bravo, bravo! Well done, Sir Prosecutor! So you admit that you killed Mr. Dover? It is true. I killed Isaac Dover. Okay. But he had only himself to blame. What do you mean? Dover and I worked together in order to win the contest. No matter who won, we agreed that we'd share the angel's recipe. But on the day of the finals, he stabbed me in the back. So Dover, this isn't what we agreed to. I'm sorry, Gustavia. The deal is off. What? But I made your desserts for you. I'm the reason you got this far. And what of it? Can you prove that you assisted me in any way? Dover, you were planning to betray me all along. Because of Dover's treachery, I was forced to make my finals entry on my own. It's just as Sir Prosecutor said. My son assisted me every day until the finals. What about your pride as a confectionery artist? Proud chef loses the ability to taste his own creations. That's a feeling an upstart like you would never understand. Hey, Counting, how are ya? Only had himself to blame, hence the Japanese pun of Pierre Hoquet, to dig one's own grave. Ah, okay, that's a good pun. Mastering the art of dessert making is my reason for being. It is my one and only pride. Committing murder for the sake of pride. That's another feeling I will never understand. To say nothing of abandoning your own son. Such a thought disgusts me. That's all hitting rather home for him. Before you judge me, first understand what happened 18 years ago. Yeah, because Manfred von Karma killed Gregory over pride. On the day of the finals, my son never came to assist me. Thinking back on it now, I suppose Dover had a hand in that as well. Huh? What exactly happened to your son? I do not know, but it no longer matters. Ever since that day, my son meant nothing to me. From what I hear, he's still missing. The frick? That's awful! Giving up on him like that. Without your son, you had no chance of winning, correct? Yes. And since I was guaranteed to lose, I needed a failsafe. During the afternoon tea time, I made my way to Sir Master's room. I just needed to take a photo of the cure to my taste disorder. It would have all worked out. Only has himself to blame, said every murderer ever. Yes. If only Dover hadn't interfered. Ah, Gustavia. Trying to steal a picture of my prize, are you? That hardly seems sporting. You. Cure for taste disorders? You have a taste disorder, don't you? Oh, this is rich. A pastry chef who can't taste. Wait, he didn't know? Then why did he interfere with his son? Dover, you. Gah. Puny worm. You're in no position to oppose me. Why, you. When I attempted to hit Dover, he struck me and sent me flying. I crashed into one of the rock salt lamps, and that was when my blood stained on it. So Mr. Dover wasn't the first one to be injured. To conceal my blood, I shaved away part of the rock salt lamp and mixed it into the sherbet. After that, it became a part of the lyre sculpture. So, that's how you tried to erase your traces from the crime scene. Dover tried to blackmail me by using his knowledge of my taste disorder. If I didn't want it to become public, I was to pay him a large sum. So, that's the reason why you killed Isaac Dover? Exactly. What reason do I have to let those who obstruct me live? He was the one who drew first blood. I simply gave him his just desserts. Get it? So that was his motive. I carried the rock salt lamp that bore my blood into Dover's room. Then I came up with a hiding place where it would not be easily found. I get it. That room contained plenty of tools for sculpting sherbet. Your deduction is spot on, Sir Attorney. It was the ideal place to shave away the rock salt. I then proceeded to coat the surface of the sherbet lyre with vast amounts of the salty mixture. But why? Why did you try to pin the crime on Monsieur Master? You are wrong to blame me for that, Lady Catherine. If not for your unnecessary meddling, Sir Master would never have been a suspect. Why do you think I hid the murder weapon in fluorescent cloth in Lady Delicia's room? There is only one reason why you'd place a murder weapon in someone else's room. You wanted to pin the crime on Delicia. Me? Oh. Yes, that is correct. Gusty! Why? Why me? As one who sought to be the world's best confectioner, I greatly respected Sir Master. It was never my intention to cast suspicion on him. But an insolent woman who dared to sully the contest with fake desserts. I had no problem letting someone like you take the blame for the crime. That makes me sad. Oh. If you hadn't snacked on other people's desserts, the body would never have been found. It was when Sir Master would be judging Lady Delicia's room. That's when I finally saw an opportunity to freeze the body, but before I could move the body, Lady Catherine had already discovered it. Why? Why did you need to freeze Monsieur Dover's body? Why, indeed. Monsieur Edgeworth, please tell us. I don't know. Save the game. Yeah, they're both horrible, aren't they? Gustavia and Dover. Jeez. Just knew that his son helped him, not why. Yeah, that's a good point. Why would Monsieur Gustavia have needed to freeze the body? throw off the time of death or create a fake crime scene. Both of those seem likely. I think this one's unlikely, so... Mr. Gustavia froze the body in order to disguise it as an ice sculpture. Huh? Really? Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Hall looks like she's frozen solid. I'm sorry. It seems I was mistaken. Monsieur Edgeworth, please tell us the truth this time. Create a fake crime scene. Throw off the time of death. Yeah, I think throw off the time of death would be good. Yeah, because he died when the tea party was happening, and Delisha was... Oh no, wait, Delisha was tasting people's desserts, wasn't she? Who was even at the tea party? Fake crime scene. Yeah, I think throw off the time of death is the right one, so I'll go with this one first. The reason Mr. Gustavia froze the body, it was probably to create a fake crime scene. Fake crime scene? Judge Courtney's icy glare is so cold, I feel like I'm about to freeze. It seems I was mistaken. Mr. Gustavia intended to freeze the body in order to throw off the time of death. If the time of death had coincided with the tea party, Mr. Gustavia would have been suspected. That is correct. God, this guy's a piece of work, isn't he? Preparations were necessary to freeze the body. While I was preparing in Dover's room, I placed the body in the treasure chest in Sir Master's room. I could think of no better hiding place at the time. But thanks to that gluttonous pharmacist, the lid of the chest broke. But why did you disguise him as an ice sculpture? Once the body was discovered, there would be no time to throw off the time of death. To buy time, you needed to hide it someplace else. How horrid! How could you hide Monsieur Dover's body within one of his own works? It all would have worked out if the body hadn't been discovered while it was in Sir Master's room. Would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. If everything had gone according to plan, Sir Master would never have been arrested. So, because I discovered the body, it's my fault Monsieur Master was... Kate, don't take his words to heart. Even if suspicion hadn't fallen on Mr. Master, Miss Delicious would have taken the fall. No matter who he targeted, the one at fault here is Mr. Gustavia himself. The detective in charge of the initial investigation was also a dunce. To think that he never reported the missing body to the prosecutor. Prosecutor von Karma indicted Mr. Master without knowing the body had vanished? I see. That would explain why he looked so flustered at the crime scene. Although, it's something that would stand out if you read the official documents. Could someone have intentionally distorted the information? At any rate, von Karma found out about the missing body after he had made his indictment. And if he had let one person be acquitted, he'd have a stain on his much prided perfect record. That's why he concealed the fact that the body was hidden, and had Mr. Master declared guilty. But what are you saying? For 18 years, that man has taken the blame for your crimes. Don't you feel anything at all? I don't care what you say. What a monster! I'm arresting him right here, right now, sir. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that will be impossible. So, you've figured it out. That's correct. You have no right to sentence me. But what? But the culprit is standing right in front of us. Allow me to tell you the reason why you can't arrest me. Oh boy. Bloody, statute of limitations. Why you can't arrest me. It has been 18 years since I murdered Dover. Oh yeah, the best music. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years, is it not? In other words, it's impossible for you to arrest me. I already have several ideas how we're gonna get around this. I only confessed my crime because the statute of limitations had expired. The statute of limitations for murder is 15 years. Mr. Edgeworth, is there nothing we can do? Yeah. As long as the statute of limitations remains, arresting him is impossible. No way! My sincerest apologies, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Yeah, you look real sorry. Neither Mr. Gustavia's testimony nor your logic can be taken as official legal proof. The verdict of the trial 18 years ago cannot be overturned. What? What about the fact that Mr. Dover's body was hidden? Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gustavia, this should at least earn Mr. Master a retrial. Really? I wonder about that. Overturning a verdict of the Goddess of Law is much harder than you think. Is the PIC trying to justify the verdict from 18 years ago? How unfortunate, Sir Prosecutor. Don't you just want to just in the face? Is there nothing I can do? Is there no way to continue pursuing Mr. Gustavia? It has been 18 years since I murdered Dover. No matter how many years have passed, your sin will never fade. Sir Prosecutor, I'm sure you must have realized by now. There's no way you can arrest me. Arresting you would be a piece of cake for someone like Mr. Edgeworth. Isn't that right, sir? I don't think it will be that simple. It's impossible for you to arrest me. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years, is it not? It's possible that some of your actions 18 years ago were not affected by the statute. It's been so long. I've got nothing left to hide. Ask me anything you'd like. Very well. Could you explain to me what you did during these past 18 years? Certainly. After the contest, the medicine from the recipe book allowed me to fully cure my taste disorder. I then immediately headed to Zengfar to train my design skills. So he wasn't seen ever since that case because he was in a foreign country. Indeed. And I'm certain that I went abroad to train about 1 year after that case, right before Sir Master's final trial began. And thanks to my training, I am now a confectioner, unparalleled in both taste and design. You should not be proud of a position earned through the sacrifices of others. Ha! You can't bake a cake without breaking a few eggs. Sacrifices were necessary for my goal. That's horrible. Say what you will. The fact still remains that you cannot arrest me. I have to get more information out of Mr. Gustavia. Was there anything of note in his recent testimony? Nothing's important. Nothing seems particularly important. I'll think about this a little more. Well, that was a fun case. Time to move on. PIC covering for Von Karma. How surprising. Yep. In other words, it's impossible for you to arrest me. Yeah, I'm wondering about his son. What the hell happened with his son? It's too early to say for sure that it's impossible. Just give it up, Sir Prosecutor. Just like your father before you. You cannot catch me. It was because of Von Karma's interference that my father couldn't find the truth. And now I'm about to lose the truth due to the statute of limitations. Mr. Edgeworth, we can't give up now. Your father's last case. We have to see it through to the end. Okay. We can't let the culprit steal the truth. That's our job. As great thieves. I am not a great thief. But it is as you say. Dane Gustavia, I won't let you escape. By all means, do try your best. I only confessed my crime because the statute of limitations had expired. So, you confessed because you knew that the statute of limitations had already expired? Ah, of course! Who would confess otherwise? Well, I would have preferred to carry the truth of Dover's murder to my grave. Why is that? I am now the world's best confectioner. I wouldn't want to have such a trifling matter affect my path as an artisan of desserts. So, you let Mr. Master take the fall, while you protected your own position. You alone, I cannot forgive. My path is for me to decide. I don't need your forgiveness. Mars, it's been a long time since your Uncle Ray's been this angry. I feel the same way. I cannot allow this man to go unchecked. I can see how he was able to escape justice for 18 years. Isn't there some way we can catch him? Mr. Gustavia is an amateur at law, after all. He's no match for a real ace attorney. I'm sure there's some flaw in his plan that we can exploit. An amateur at law, huh? Yeah, so I think since he went overseas, the statute was frozen. If the suspect flees to or lives in a foreign country, the time limit is on hold till he returns, so we have to find out how long he was there. God, this music's so good! Now, we had a few choices here. There's training in Zengfar. We'll go for Mr. Master's final trial first, because there's going to be some new dialogue there. Could you please add the details about Mr. Master's final trial to your testimony? Certainly. I did not witness the Sir Master's final trial. That's a very small one. Oh, the trial? Yeah, I wasn't there. So you weren't called as a witness by Prosecutor Von Karma or my father? I had more important things to do than attend the trial. I was much too busy trying to master the art of desserts. Your old man did try to find him, but could never get hold of a contact address. So he took the initiative and left before he could be summoned to court. We'll get the other one. Have we cross-examined this guy before? I don't know if we've gotten failure dialogue for him yet. Training in Zengfar. Could you please add the details about your training in Zengfar to your testimony? Certainly. Afterwards, I trained in Zengfar to become the world's best confectioner. God, this music's so good. Let's just save, because we haven't saved in a while. And I don't know if I've tried presenting the wrong thing to him, so we'll do that quickly. Check out my badge. Your testimony just now is contradictory, isn't it? Oh my, you say such strange things, Sir Prosecutor. At this rate, you'll never reach your father. Oh, jeez. Ow. What did you... Aw. Don't get so worked up. Wow. This guy's the worst. This evidence will tell us the truth. You are clearly bluffing. I was not born yesterday. Indeed, this evidence doesn't show a contradiction. Shall I continue? That was the harshest burn anyone's ever given Miles. Just see if there's any more. Okay, just gonna reload for health. But I think we're at the very end, so... Afterwards, I trained in Zengfar to become the world's best confectioner. You trained in Zengfar? After the incident 18 years ago, I left on a journey. I had already decided to hone my candy crafting skills in Zengfar. Thanks to that, my design sense is incomparable to what it was in the past. Whoa, that's awesome! You may have it if you'd like. Oh, sweet! I wouldn't want anything from this guy. So, he trained in Zengfar. Now, present the statute of limitations. One salty individual. One of the conditions regarding the statute of limitations for murder is as follows. If the suspect flees to a foreign country, the time limit is on hold until the suspect returns. So the statute of limitations was suspended while you were overseas. That's right, the statute of limitations stopped while you were training in Zengfar. Indeed, it is possible that the statute of limitations has not expired yet. Mr. Gustavia, please tell us how long you stayed in Zengfar. I wish we'd asked him that before we revealed this information, because he's going to lie now. No, it would be exactly 3 years. 3 years? Wait, let's calmly think this over. The case occurred 18 years ago. The statute of limitations is 15 years, and he was away for 3. 15 plus 3 is exactly 18 years. I'm sure of it. Mr. Edgeworth, we did it! The statute of limitations hasn't expired yet. Exactly 18 years, you say? How amusing. So, you realised. But why are you laughing? The statute of limitations still applies. Okay, it's frustrating, but the case occurred in December. It's April now, which means, strictly speaking, the case occurred 18 years and 4 months ago. His stay abroad wasn't quite enough. We were just a few months short. Oh. Not enough? That's... Like I said, it's impossible for you to arrest me. He must have known all about this when he confessed to his crime. Prosecutor Edgeworth, it really is a shame. If it was just 1 year earlier, the statute of limitations would not have run out. Yeah, I already know how we're getting around this. This guy's rapidly becoming the most hateable suspect in all of AA, which is a darn feat considering. Yeah, Oh, this guy's so bad. Those who undermine the goddess of law's verdict must bear the burden of their crimes. It seems you were simply incapable. This can't be the end. So, Monsieur Gustavia really is beyond the law's reach. Kate, what are you thinking?
Objection.
If you're thinking of taking matters into your own hands, I implore you to reconsider. There still might be a way to bring this man to justice. What? Miles, remember the facts of the case 18 years ago. Just as you were mistaken earlier, it seems Mr. Gustavia has also overlooked one key detail. Overlooked? He wasn't present during Mr. Master's final trial, so he doesn't know the outcome of the trial. There may yet be a way for you to arrest him. Miles, look over that book on statute of limitations again. 17 years ago, Master was falsely declared guilty for a serious crime. Thanks to that verdict, we aren't out of ammunition just yet. Mr. Shields, you don't mean... Those who undermine the goddess of law's verdict must bear the burden of their crimes. I am Mr. Master's attorney. I can't use his suffering as a weapon in good conscience. For that reason, I'll leave the rest up to you. The trial my father and Von Karma battled over. Can I use that to arrest Mr. Gustavia? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Nah, everything's fine. Let's move on. Do another case. If I don't object here, Mr. Gustavia will never be brought to justice for his crimes, and I'll lose my chance to save Mr. Master forever. Is that truly the path I believe in? My father and Von Karma, their paths diverged. One revealed the truth, the other concealed it. The path that I choose is the one that reveals the truth. Doesn't matter. Yep, false choice. I see no further reason to prolong this trial. I hereby find Dame Gustavia not guilty. Overruled. Gustavia will stand in court for his crimes. Do you mean to say you have found a way to arrest Mr. Gustavia? Exactly. All she has done is stand in our way. She hasn't helped at all. Like, she knows about the laws of statute of limitations. She should have been able to figure this out too, but she's done nothing. I'll show Judge Courtney the evidence that will shatter the statute of limitations. So is it the case file that says that the thing went on for a year? He was convicted as an accomplice to the murder. Yeah, and the statute of limitations says that if possible accomplices are on trial, the countdown is stopped until the verdict is reached, then resumes. And that trial went for a year, so... Check out my chocolates. I submit this evidence to the court. I find it hard to ascertain its relevance. Therefore, I cannot accept it. What? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I can see where your feelings are coming from. However, to see you struggle so intensely, it seems you don't know when to give up. I will never give up. The fate of this case rests in my hands. Jeffrey Master's trial went on for 1 year. A year-long trial where the truth was fabricated. There must be one more exception to the statute of limitations I can use. Yeah, so it's either the incident file or the statute of limitations. I'll go with the incident file. The IS-7 case file. Which page are you referring to? That's specific. Wonder if we get dialogue for each of them. Let's find out. Check all the choices, that's what I do. The good judge would have accepted the chocolates. Yeah! Yeah, I want the judge from the main trilogy back, not her, she sucks. What's the actual one? Case summary, I think. Victim data. The victim data page. What about Isaac Dover could possibly be of use to us now? If you're going to make careless claims like that, perhaps you should give up. Making such a mistake at the very end. I have to think this over. Everything rests on my next move. Which one is it actually? Suspect data. Okay. So I'm going to pick the other one. Case summary. The case summary page. I'm sure we already know the full details of the case. There's nothing there that could affect the statute of limitations. To come so far, only to fail here. I'll use that one false fact to bring the real truth to light. The suspect data page. At the trial, Jeffrey Master was found guilty of being an accomplice to murder. And it took 1 year to arrive at this verdict. Right. That is indeed true. And she's not like, oh! This book lists conditions in which the statute of limitations can be put on hold. The first, as I've said earlier, is if the suspect flees to a foreign country. But there's one more. If possible accomplices are on trial, the countdown is stopped until the verdict is reached. What are you saying? Sir Master was found to be an accomplice? That's right. Mr. Master was sentenced after you had left for your trip to Zengfar. And he was found guilty not of being the culprit, but of being an accomplice. But it seems you didn't know that. That's absurd. Sir Master never committed any crime to begin with. You should certainly know this. Of course we do. That is why we are going to free him. To that end, we will shatter the one remaining obstacle in our way, the statute of limitations. You fled to Zengfar for 3 years, and Jeffrey Master was being tried as an accomplice for 1 year. Put it all together, we see that the total time limit for this case is 19 years. In other words, the statute of limitations is not over for you yet. No. The goddess of law is unerring in her judgments. Shut the frick up! However, it seems that the prosecutor at the time was not. I cannot believe it, but it seems like the case will have to be reopened. This is absurd! You cannot arrest me! For the last 18 years, an innocent man has suffered greatly in your stead. Mr. Gustavia, it's now time for you to atone for your crimes. I had finally earned my place as the greatest confectioner in the world. To achieve that goal, I cast everything aside, even my own son. What a shame. You can't run from your crimes any longer. No. Here goes the breakdown. Whoa. Best breakdown animations in the series. Dame Gustavia has been taken into custody, sir. Yeah. So, you're up next, right? Yes, I understand. Kate. Everyone, I'm truly sorry for all the trouble I've caused. We've had Von Karma, Judge Courtney, and Gustavia in this case. Too much scum in one place, yeah. And thank you very much for catching Monsieur Gustavia. What you did cannot be overlooked, even if the crimes you committed were in response to a past injustice. As a prosecutor, I am terribly sorry for what happened. No, I'm only getting what I deserve, since I was the cause of all this. Kate, will you have me as your attorney? Oh, I'm not quite the same useless kid I was 18 years ago. I won't let them find you guilty. Oh, Monsieur Shields. Yes, thank you so much. Oh. Sorry to interrupt, but it's time to go. Yes, all right. Hi, douchebag. Judge Courtney, I can't help but feel that you've been dishonest with me. You little bit. Let's just say, if they like to spring a sudden evidence showing on you. You should get that looked at. Bubble tears don't seem very healthy. Oh, I didn't notice the bubble tears. That's pretty funny. Dishonest? Whatever do you mean? You said that the verdict could not be overturned, but that was not the case. A reinvestigation and retrial were obviously required as soon as the missing body was found. I have no need to answer you. It seems she doesn't intend to ever give me an answer. Prosecutor Edgeworth, the PIC has you in its sights. They will receive a report on everything you did here today, and you will most likely be required to appear before them. Now then, I shall take my leave. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Hold on, Mr. Edgeworth caught the real bad guy. Didn't he do his job as a prosecutor? No matter how things turn out, I will never regret what I did here today. Mr. Edgeworth? Hey, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What is it? Why? Are you always sticking your nose into cases that you're not even involved with? My duty is to reveal the truth. Not only as a prosecutor, it's just who I am. I don't get it. As long as you continue to think that being the best is all that matters, I doubt you ever will. Well, I don't get that either. I'm going home. Bye. What was that all about? There is much he still needs to learn. Miley! What is it? I knew Greggy's son could do it. I think I might be falling for you. Thanks for helping Jeffy. Well, Yo, Edgy! Oh, hey, he was here the whole time. Great job solving that case. Well, I was busy drawing, so I really didn't catch all of it. Huh? Where did Katie and Justy run off to? Loris, you really weren't paying much attention at all, were you? Well, I hate to admit it, but Larry's doodles actually helped us out a few times. I should say something nice to him. Should we? I'm waiting for it to do the thing where I have to show you the right thing. Don't glare at me like that. I'm sorry. It was not my intent to glare at you. Heh, that patented Edgeworth glare. You're just like your old man. Is that so? Well then. Uncle Ray's got to go pay Mr. Master a visit. You guys want to tag along? I'd be happy to accompany you. Oh, me too! Nice. 4:56 PM. Attention Centre, Visitors Room. So this Jeffrey Master, what's he like? Oh, he's a really nice and gentle guy. Okay, he better not be dead. He better not have been murdered by someone while we were doing all this stuff. He's still doing his best to make people happy. He actually cooks desserts for the inmates. Aww. Nowadays, all the prisoners and guards look forward to snack time at 3 o'clock. Wow, that's nice. I want to eat his desserts too. So the chocolate cake we saw in the prison the other day. He was the one who made it. Yay! He's fine. Oh, Gummy, why are you here? I heard everybody was coming to visit, so I escorted Mr. Master myself. Hello, one and all. I am Jeffrey Master. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth at your service. And I am Mr. Edgeworth's assistant, Kay Faraday. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Mr. Master, Miles is your old defense attorney's son. You mean Mr. Gregory's? Your father has done so much for me. And yet, I betrayed his good faith when I made the false confession. I've heard the details from Mr. Shields. Mr. Master, I came here today to tell you everything we've learned about 18 years ago. 18 years ago? Kate committed a crime for my sake? Why would she do such a thing? Miss Hall has been trying to prove your innocence for the past 18 years. She was willing to do whatever it took to save you. Kate, she shouldn't have gone through so much trouble for an old man who let her down. Mr. Master, I don't think you realise just how much Miss Hall cares for you. I have something here that clearly proves the two of you share an unbreakable bond. An unbreakable bond? Alright, save. Save. It might not matter, because sometimes they correct it for you in this game, but just in case. Save myself some time. Proof of the bond between Jeffrey Master and Catherine Hall. This should give Mr. Master some peace of mind. Alright. Proof of the bond, let's see. The poison gas. Oh, she got the recipe book back so that she could cure his taste disorder. I think that's what we're going for. I guess we're not going to find out what happened to Gustavia's son, huh? Yeah, alright, I think it's that. Well, let's present something wrong. It's the poison gas. This is the bond Kate and I share. I see. You must be speaking metaphorically. Well, that's... Looks like I showed him the wrong thing. Thank you. Mr. Master. I don't think they actually correct it for you in this one. Amazing. Glad I saved. Hey Ludogiano, how are ya? Only terrible people in this stream. Yeah, I think it's the recipe book because she went through all the trouble to get it back. This is the bond Kate and I share? Oh, really? That's not right? Rip. Rip. Oh, it's... I think I know what it is. The chocolates. Chockies.
Take that!
These chocolates. Did Kate make them? She did. They're really sweet and tasty. She's been making these chocolates for the past 18 years, so that she could give them to you whenever you returned. Kate. I'm sure they are very, very sweet. Yes, they truly are. Unfortunately, I cannot give them to you now, but I can hand them over later in secret, pal. It is against the rules, but right now I don't have the authority to stop him. Oh, thank you very much. Say, you remind me of an old friend. Do you know of a Detective Bad? Of course I do. Detective Bad is my #1 role model, pal. How uncanny. Talk about fate. Mr. Master, it's looking like we'll be able to get you out soon. I can only apologise that it took 18 years to do so. Raymond, I'm the one who should be apologising. No, that's not it. What I really should be saying is... thank you. Mr. Master, now it's my turn to wait for Kate. Now she's going to be in jail. Posted a thing in the Discord, see if I can work it out. Okay, no worries. I'll have a look at it. I'll make her favourite sweets every day until she returns. Please look after her, Raymond. You got it. The IS-7 incident, the case I inherited from my father. After 18 long years, it's finally coming to a close. Mars, thanks for today. I'm sorry for leaving that final decision to you. No, I made that decision of my own free will. Eh? What are you talking about? To arrest Gustavia, we had no choice but to use Mr. Master's false charge. To use Mr. Master's false charge, which I was originally supposed to protect him from. The attorney inside of me simply could not do it. So that's how it was. But after this, Uncle Ray is going to try to clear away that false charge as well. Yes, I understand. What? But if they find out about the false charge, they won't be able to arrest Mr. Gustavia, right? That's true. It sure is a contradiction in the law. The way the law is right now, it isn't always completely right. A contradiction in the law. Well, who knows what'll happen? The law evolves and grows, just like all of us do. Just like Uncle Ray and Miles have grown up, you know? People and the law both grow. Miles, to fight crime as a prosecutor, or to save people as a defense attorney? I want you to think carefully about how you want to live your life from now on. I will. Well, if you ask Uncle Ray, you'll always be welcome down at the office. Alrighty then, looks like it's time for Uncle Ray to get going. Next time I see you, I'll be sure to thank you again. Really though, thanks for today. Mr. Shields seemed to be in a bit of a hurry. Indeed. I should be the one thanking him. I was able to face my father's last case because of him. When I was young, I wanted to become a great defense attorney like my father. However, under Prosecutor von Karma, I learned the ways of a prosecutor. Thanks to a certain friend, I was able to discover my own path in life. However, right now, there are forces trying to take me off the prosecutor's path. Maybe now is the perfect time to think about how I should live my life. Well, there's more. The next case is what you think it is. I'm going to love it. Won't say anything more. Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to it. April 2, 7:29 PM. Edgeworth Law Offices. Gregory, I'm sorry that it took so long. Oh, it may have taken 18 years. But finally, we've proven Mr. Master's innocence. Miles, your son, helped me with that. The way he fought for the truth. He was just like you, Gregory. Ah, we got to see that photo. I'm still not the kind of attorney you were. But I will forever carry on the convictions I inherited from you. And if I can... Ah, together with him. Ah, that was so sweet. To fight crime as a prosecutor, or to save people as a defense attorney, the path I choose is... the end. That's well, nice cliffhanger, video game. The Forgotten Turnabout. Well, that's the next case. Damn, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was so sad. It's so sweet. Aw. Dang. This game's really good. Yeah, I don't think we should start the next case today. It's a bit early to end the stream, but my throat's getting a bit sore. Have a quick look what it is. Could. But I think I'll be tempted to keep playing though. And yeah, I need to rest my voice, so. Alright, we'll start on case 4 next time. Dang, that was such a good case. Alright, who is streaming at the moment? Sakura's playing more Ocarina of Time Randomizer. So I'll send you all over there. You might be on today, don't know yet. Nice, I'll tune into you if I can. /raid Sakura Tsubasa. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I hope I can get back to this game soon. It's really good. Alright, I'll see you all next time. See ya.